Happy Mother's Day, and welcome to a special edition of the Substitute Preacher Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Johnson, aka the Substitute Preacher. I've had some awesome guests so far, but none as incredible as this one. My very own mother, Dana Johnson. Welcome to the show, Mom.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm blessed.
Awesome. I know for you've been bugging me since the beginning to get you on the show, so
Yes.
I thought this was kind of the perfect opportunity. So this, again, we're recording a little bit early, but I dropped this episode on Sunday, so to all you moms out there, you're special, and we can't do your job. I got my super dad shirt on. I wore it on purpose, and I think I am a super dad, but I get it because the people who raised me, you and obviously Dad. So yeah, I'm blessed to be here and wouldn't be here without you guys. Well, let me just jump right in. I think your story as a mother doesn't happen without Grandma Joss. And me and the girls have been fortunate to have two just outstanding grandmothers, Grandma Joss, Grandma Diane, Dad's mom, both of which for the majority were single mothers and just did a heck of a job raising you and then Grandma Diane with Dad. So just talk to us, tell us about what that was like, just growing up under Grandma, and then you obviously used some of what she taught you and became an amazing mother yourself.
First, I want to start by just acknowledging my amazing mom. I love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. And honestly, I believe that I have one of the best moms ever. For the most part, she was a single mom. She raised my brother and I. Our dad wasn't in our lives at all. And, I do have a stepdad, and unfortunately he was on drugs, and so he didn't really play a very good father role in our lives. So that's why I say that, yes, my mom was, pretty much a single mom, but an amazing mom. Honestly, do everything just for us and to make sure that my brother and I, that we were well taken care of. We grew up, pretty poor, not having much money. But my mom always did what she could. She worked hard. She was at the same job for about 30 years, just, making ends meet for us. And actually, she put us through private school to St. Peter's in San Francisco. And again, I say we grew up without any money, but back then tuition was probably only a few $100s a year, I believe, something crazy like that. But she put us through Catholic school, and she was always just really there for us. I was close to my mom since I was a little girl, and till this day, very close to my mom. We have a really good relationship. She grew up in a dysfunctional home, and I think when it came to her having kids, she showed a lot of love that she probably didn't get from her parents. That she showed us a lot of love, a lot of hugs, a lot of kisses, made sure that she told us, I love you every day. When we wake up in the morning and when we went to sleep, it was always, I love you. And, I was able to really do that with my kids and with my daughters and just have a good relationship with my children because of the relationship that I had with my mom growing up.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, one of the best ways we learn as humans is through imitation. And so you getting to kind of watch her growing up, I could tell just with her being my grandma and how she took care of us as kids, a lot of that you mimicked as well. So I'm fortunate. I got all the blessings, outstanding mom, and it all came from before her with her mom as well. Do you have just a quick story? It was you and my Uncle Junior. You guys were her only two kids. And so do you have a story you can share about you guys just running around, getting into trouble, or a lesson you learned from Grandma, just something from your childhood or from your teen years?
So like most kids, I think when it's time to wake up for school, we hated that. And so moms would be in the back room in her bedroom, and she'd be yelling for my brother and I to wake up. Junior and Nana, wake up. It's time to get up. And we would just ignore her and stay asleep. 30 minutes would go by and you would just hear my mom get out of bed and she's pounding. And by this time she's mad because we're almost late. And she would be coming, you guys need to get up. And, we kind of be grumpy about it, but we laugh about it later. We would laugh about it. Junior and Nana, get up. Another thing, the bus stop was right across the street from our house. So like I said, she always made sure to tell us she loves us and say goodbye in the mornings. So she had this furry blue bathrobe she would always wear, and she would walk us outside and give us a kiss, tell us she loved us, and we would be across the street at the bus stop, and she would be, instead of just going in the house, she would stand there and, okay, I love you, be careful, be good. And we're going, go in the house, because she's in her bathrobe. The bus is about to pull up, but mom's was always like right there, trying to tell us some last minute things. Don't forget, whatever it was. But it was kind of embarrassing, but I laugh about it now. And I think like she made sure that not only we're going to get on the bus safe, but that she told us, how much she loved us. And I'm sure she let everybody know on the bus. So, yeah.
I know you guys have mentioned to us before, just growing up, that she used to like make breakfast and basically the neighborhood. Anyone could come and she'd feed everybody. So that's what kind of person she is. And then me growing up, and I'd be at school for hours because I had practice and I'd be doing homework. But you always would make burritos and make stuff. Even through college, when I was at City College, you'd make a bunch of burritos and I'd be giving them out. I should have sold them, but because everyone loves your burritos, you make the best burritos. But yeah, just to kind of shed some light as what type of women these are. Very generous and just incredible individuals. For you, Mom, I got to experience you as a mother, and just for me, again, you were just someone who was always there for us, always just there to talk to. And I looked up to Dad in one sense. He was just the leader and a little bit more tough and strict. And so I learned a lot from him in terms of being a man, but just being a person, a genuine, kind person. Like I learned a lot from you. So always just easy to talk to, always very loving. We were fortunate. For a lot of our lives, you didn't work much, so you were a stay-at-home mom, so we got to spend some time with you. For all my students out there, sometimes I get on you guys about the cursing. I think I've heard my mom curse maybe 4 or 5 times ever.
That many?
Yeah, yeah. I remember a couple times when we were going to the center as kids, and we would just, I don't know, maybe I remember a couple times we were running late, and you were just going off. Maybe you had somewhere to be, and you let a couple slip, but
I don't remember that, but okay.
All right, maybe three or 4. I could vividly remember at least 2, but regardless, I could count them on one hand. Grandma as well. I've heard her curse, I think, twice ever. So just very kind-hearted, awesome people. I want you to kind of explain your style of being a mother, a nurturer, because I could go more in, but how would you distinguish yourself from maybe other moms, your mom, dad? Like, what were you like? How do you feel you performed as a mother?
Before I do that, I want to say, yes, I was a stay-at-home mom. But before I got pregnant with Isaiah, who is the oldest, I was working, I was pregnant, I was taking Bart to San Francisco to my job from Oakland, and I just hyperventilated and freaked out and got off Bart, called my husband, and from then on he was like, well, just stay home with them and you don't have to work. So I quit my job, woohoo, and I got to stay home and just raise Isaiah and then his 2 sisters, and it was an awesome experience. And I recommend it if you can stay home with your kids. It was the best experience that I've had to be able to, make breakfast for them, make lunch for them, and just be there to help them with their homework and just all those things that maybe some parents didn't have an opportunity to do, but I did. And honestly, I'm really blessed by that. Now, to answer your question about my parenting style, honestly, let's see. Do you think I was strict?
That's in my notes. So I was going to get to that in a second. A little bit. So, and I'll go more in detail, but a little bit.
Okay. So, I don't think I was strict, but, definitely they got some butt whoopings. And one time in particular, when him and his sisters, they're just loud and running around, and I don't know what they were doing. And I got mad, and so I grabbed a plastic spoon and I start chasing them around the living room, and they decided to run upstairs to go in the room, and I ran after them. By the time I get to the top of the stairs, I'm mad because I'm out of breath. So I'm like, what? So anyways, Isaiah had shorts on. So the girls ran behind him, and I just start whacking those legs. And I think that was one of the few times that I made you cry, I think. Yeah. But I got you pretty good, left those welts on that leg. But I don't think I was strict. It was just, I was at home with them all day. So I wasn't going for that being loud. And, it's like, you guys got to find something productive to do. You're not going to be here, just getting on my nerves all day. But the one thing I will say, what really helped me was, I'm a Christian. And when I was pregnant with Isaiah, that's when I started serving the Lord. So it was honestly just, God helping me, teaching me to be a good mom, and just, pouring into them. I was intentional about the things that I did for my kids, mm-hmm. And the things that I taught them. And, and I love the fact that I'm able to see them now as adults, all three of them, just kind of living their lives. But I give all the credit to God, honestly, because he's the one that helped me in the frustrating times, when it seemed hard, just read the word, and the word of God is what helped me and taught me how to be a woman, how to be a mom. And so that's really, like I said, I just give God the credit, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the word I was going to use, is intentional. And part of me, I look back and I'm like, my friends are making Dragon Ball Z references. She didn't let us watch Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, no type of anime. So I'm like, dang, all my friends are playing in recess talking about I'm Goku. And I'm like, who's Goku? So that I hold a little bit of
resentment, maybe
a little bit of resentment in that sense. And it's like, oh man, mom, like you was just doing too much. Or with mornings during school, we'd be wanting to watch cartoons when we got ready, and she's over here putting on KQED Channel 9, and we're watching all these educational shows. I'm like, come on. But now that I have a daughter, I see how it translates, and I've stole a lot from her, and it's like, Leia, you need, your education is so important. Those cartoons, they'll always be there. Let's watch some educational stuff as well. So I think I do take a little bit of that way, but sometimes it's like, all right, kids are kids, like. But yeah, so not really strict. We would kind of go to you if maybe it was we had to ask something, and dad's a little more intimidating. So you're the person we would go to. One thing I learned from my dad is my wife, you ain't gonna disrespect her. Like, my kids ain't gonna disrespect her. So if we gave my mom a hard time throughout the day, she's with us and just dealing with our chaos, and we're not listening. Sometimes we just kind of sensed it, or sometimes we'd hear she'd be on the phone and we're like, she's talking with dad, like we're in trouble. And he'd come home, we'd run under the bed, and he brought a little bit more discipline in terms of being physical. So whooping us with the belt or with his hand. So we never wanted that. And so now with Leia, my daughter, like, nah, you ain't gonna talk to my wife any type of way. This is my queen, and you're gonna treat her with respect for sure. So, and that's what I learned just watching you and Dad.
And honestly, cool. I don't think you have ever disrespected me. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've never talked back. I don't think so. Remind me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I mean, you're always respectful, and I guess Dad put some fear into you, but you've never been disrespectful to me ever or talked back. Yeah. The girls are a little more mouthy, so yeah, I've had my moments with the girls, but I think so, not with you.
Yeah, and I got you beat, because how many times have you heard me cuss?
Never.
So you kids saying, "Oh, it just slipped," or "I can't control it." I controlled it, and I mean, I don't curse really as it is. I've never cursed, Mom. No. But yeah, like I know how to hold my tongue and be disciplined, especially around my mama. So,
and I don't think Grandma has ever heard me say a bad word. I don't think so.
There you go.
So, but I'm sure you've had some words on the playground.
A little bit. The football field, that's when the language, just naturally. Yeah. But another aspect of your parenting that, I mean, I still take from and feed into it to this day is just the spirituality aspect and our faith. Learning Bible studies from a young age, and we caught you at a perfect time in your faith because you were a new Christian and really kind of learning and getting on fire for the Lord, and so you just passed that right down to us, and so that's really what made us who we are. I think the girls and I were always, we had that foundation and that faith and that strength. We always put our trust in the Lord because that's the example you guys gave us. So I'm fortunate for that. That's something I'm instilling into Leia now. Again, back to the Dragon Ball Z and stuff. Sometimes it's like, man, I wish we could have caught Mom maybe a few years when she was in the world, and who knows how that would have looked. We would have had a little more fun. But nah, like legit, it and obviously it was for a reason, but we were raised right in the faith as well.
And go ahead. You were a baby. I mean, when I gave my life to the Lord, I was pregnant with you. So I don't think you guys ever knew me outside of Jesus. And that's probably a good thing, because, yeah. Yeah.
It's funny, when I was, I don't know, maybe close to a teenager or a young teen, Dad one time had mentioned, like, he told me some stories of when he was a kid, and I was just blown away. Like, my parents lived this lifestyle before, like, I thought they were saints and they were out there wilding. But
since you brought that up, tell them about how you thought I was a saint until the medicine.
Oh, that's a good story. Yeah. Yes, and I'm gonna give you a chance to kind of embarrass me in a second here, but
okay.
Yeah, what she's alluding to is, for real, like, I thought, and she's close, but I thought I had the perfect mom. And I must have been, how old was I? 6, 7? 6?
You lived in Oakland, probably about
5 or 6.
5.
I must have been 5 or 6. And I just have this image of my mom as just perfection. She's an angel. Mm-hmm. And it turned out we all lied. She told me a big lie when I had to take some type of medication. Amoxicillin, and it was the pills though, right?
No, it was the pink medicine.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. Liquid. Well, so I didn't want to take it as a young kid, and I'm like, nah, I don't want the medicine. I'm fussing, giving her a hard time. Obviously, I have to take it, so it was for my own good. So I'll give you benefit of the doubt. However, she makes me some oatmeal that morning and put the medicine in the oatmeal. And so I'm like, Mom, what's this? And I think she made it's sugar or whatever.
Pink sugar.
And she could have, you could have added a little extra sugar. That maybe would have hid the taste, but it wasn't much sugar in it. And so I'm eating it and I'm like, nah, this is the medicine. And I realized my mom's not a perfect saint after all. She lied to me. So from then on, it
shattered
kind
the
of
image.
it tainted, yeah.
That's
But
funny.
in 29 years, you're still pretty close
No.
to perfect. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. Over the weekend, they did for Tom Brady. They did a roast, and a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of his former teammates. He just kind of sat in a chair, and he did some of the clowning around too. But for the most part, they were all roasting him. So you have the floor. Don't roast me, please, Mom. But 1 or 2, 3 embarrassing stories you want to share about my childhood, or just fun stories you have of us.
Let's see. I think I put it in my notes so I wouldn't forget. No, it was something kind of cute. You were young and you had this, it was a toy saxophone. Mm-hmm. Remember the little saxophone? It was so cute. And Isaiah, he was a quiet kid, because he had 2 sisters that were just pretty loud, and they kind of drowned him out. So he was quiet, but you might have been about 3, maybe 4. And one thing I always loved is just to brag on my kids, and so he had this little saxophone, and he would pretend he's playing it because his grandpa played the saxophone at church, and I guess he was fascinated with that. So he would pretend that he was playing the saxophone, but it was so cute because he would kind of move his shoulders and he would be doing and so I thought it was the cutest thing. So any chance I got, he would bring the saxophone to church. So I would be like, hey, so-and-so, come here, watch Isaiah. He knows how to play the saxophone. And, you would do it and you would be right there and they'd be like, oh, it's the cutest thing, but you were just a cute kid. And that wasn't an embarrassing thing.
That wasn't
it was really cute. But
we're off to a good start.
But for those of you that don't know, my son is a rapper.
Oh, my God. I might have to edit this out. We'll see.
He writes rhymes, okay? He's a poet, but when he was younger, we used to go out to the streets in Oakland, and we on weekends, and we would take the kids and we'd just be preaching the good news to people on the streets. And my husband would take out his sound system and we'd be out there just letting people know how much Jesus loves them. And so anyways, and we'd play music, like Christian rap and hip hop. And so Isaiah, my husband, had wrote a song and I think you were about 9 years old. And we were on, I forgot where in Oakland, but right on the street corner. And we would take him and his sisters. And so my husband was like, okay, son, you're gonna look over this rap, memorize it, and I'm gonna have you perform out there. And he did. And it's funny, we laugh about it now, but yeah, Isaiah was spitting rhymes at the age of 9, and I think that started.
Don't say it like that.
That started his career, because then after, you had your little notebook and he would be writing these raps, and on Mother's Day you'd write me poems. I have poems, and you probably could have kind of rapped it, but
wow.
But yeah, you were a rapper at the age of 9.
I was forced, I had to say.
But I guess he figured out that he wanted to play football more than he did perform on street corners. So, but no, I love those days. It was good. And you could have been like, no, Dad, I'm not doing it. But he was a good kid, an obedient kid. We asked him to do something, 9 times out of 10, he was going to do it. So, let's see. So, like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't work, but then when Isaiah went to high school, I thought, okay, I need to get out there and get into the work field. And so I'm thinking, well, what can I do that's not going to take me away from my kids and my family? I had been at home with them. So I applied to drive the little yellow school bus in Hayward. And back then they would allow you to, your kids could ride on the bus with you. Now, I know for sure, for a fact, they don't do that. But back then, I was able to pick Isaiah up from school, pick the girls up from school, or drop them off in the mornings. Well, Isaiah was at Bishop O'Dowd High School. That was his freshman year. Or no, it was sophomore, because your sister was there too.
Yeah, that's right.
Chani was there. So I would drop them off in the mornings, or I would pick them up. Yeah. Now, you just got to picture this. Isaiah's there after football practice with all the homies, and they're sitting there, and he's waiting for his ride home. And I would roll up in this yellow bus. And why didn't I meet you guys down the street at the gas station?
You wanted to embarrass us. That's why. We did at times. But...
Yeah, but I'm like, nope, I'm rolling up in there. And I'd have to go through the, security. They had somebody there. And I would go, and I remember your friends would be laughing. Like,
yeah,
I would just pull up, open that door, and be like, come on, son, get on. And you'd be like, oh, man.
So the first time that because a couple of them knew, like, yeah, my mom drives the school bus, and it's a school bus for special needs kids, right? And that's kind of everyone kind of knows that. Well, yeah, I think most of the time you would pull up, because there was we would hang out here, and then over here there's a building, and she would kind of pull up in the corner, so it was kind of hidden. And so I would,
Son, you can't hide a yellow bus.
True, but no one ever really peeped. And so the first time, like, I see you kind of pass the building, and you just wanted to make a scene, and you went around and just pulled up next to the curb in front of the middle of the school. And so I'm just kind of sitting there, and all my friends are kind of looking, and they're like pointing, like, hey, like, who, and all right, y'all, I get up and go to dap them up, and I'm trying to hurry up, and they just start dying laughing. And
I'm sorry,
that was rough.
I'm
sorry. Luckily, I mean, a couple of them made jokes like, "Oh, you're special ed," but it's all good.
Well, Chrissy was in middle school, and I would show up, and she'd be on the schoolyard and see me coming, and she would be so upset. She even said one time there was a guy that she liked, a kid, and when I rolled up and I had my orange fluorescent vest on, and I get off the bus, and come on, Chris, I'm yelling like, we gotta go, and she'll never forgive me for that. But hey, I guess parents, they embarrass their kids sometimes.
That's one thing I've learned not to do is when you're 15 watching this, I'm not going to intentionally embarrass you.
Well, it wasn't intentional.
I think it was.
No, you should have been blessed you weren't on the bus or walking. You had a ride. So you got to look at it like that. Anyway, that was funny.
Yeah, those are
we still laugh about
stories.
That today.
Yeah. So I brought up Leia. You and man, Leia has such an incredible support system with obviously two great parents, me and my wife, and then she got her aunties, my sisters, and then both of our parents. So my wife's parents, Christine and Anthony, and then my parents, Dana and my father, Lindsay. So yeah, she got it good, and she's spoiled, and they love her. But yeah. So with all that being said, you take much joy in being her grandmother. Just kind of describe what that's like, and what's some of the differences between being a grandparent versus being a parent or a mom.
Gosh, Leia, she is something else, like such a blessing, awesome little girl. And I'm just so in love with my granddaughter, and I'm just thankful and so blessed, like beyond words. It's one thing to be a parent, and, but Leia, it's just next level. And when Leia was first born, she was just a couple months. You guys lived here for a year, and then you moved out and got your own place. But that was the best year of my life. I remember I would come home from work, and I couldn't wait to walk through the door just to hold her. She was a little baby, and just, oh my God, I just love her. And I'm just blessed because you guys are less than 10 minutes away from us. Mm-hmm. So, we see her all the time. She spends the night. I pick her up from school. We see you at church. Like, I can't get enough of her. And, she is blessed. She has her other grandparents who love her just as much, and her aunties. And she's spoiled, but she's a beautiful little girl. She has such a good heart. Like, she's a sweetheart, mm-hmm. And my prayers for her have always been, Lord, let her love you with her whole heart and serve you all the days of her life. And that's the prayer that I have for my granddaughter. And she's just a beautiful soul. She is. She's brilliant. She's so smart. And I jokingly say sometimes, like, I don't remember you guys being this smart. Like, my kids, they were smart, but Leia's brilliant. Sometimes I think she's just like, but most of all, she just has the heart of God, the love of God inside of her. She's a sweet little girl. And I don't know, just being a grandparent is next level. You can't even put into words, because in my eyes, Leia can't do no wrong, like, she's perfect little girl. But yeah, so just love her. And you and Justina are wonderful parents. Like, and it I guess it just trickles down, and praise God. And not a lot of people can maybe say that. Maybe, I know this is a Mother's Day podcast, and maybe you're there and you're like, well, good for you guys, but it wasn't like that for me, or it wasn't like that in my household. A lot of us, we know what dysfunction is, and so I don't take it lightly that because my mom, and like I said, my mom was great, but we've been through some dysfunction. We've had, growing up, she protected us from a lot, but that doesn't mean that our life was perfect. We had some things that we went through also, but just being able to raise my son, and then now see how he's raising his daughter. And again, if it wasn't for Jesus in my life, honestly, who knows, what our lives would have been like. Who knows what you and your sisters would be like now. And again, maybe that's not your story. Before we end this episode, we want to just offer some hope for those who might feel like, what, I didn't have it like that. And you might be wounded, you might be hurting, you might, maybe you didn't have your parents, maybe they're not living today, or maybe you were in foster care, maybe you were adopted, maybe you just had a messed up childhood, but there's hope in Jesus. And honestly, that's the hope that that we have, and how we're able to live our lives. And what I always say is that my future great grandchildren that I may never meet, I know that we made a decision in our lives, or it started with my mom. My mom made a decision many years ago to follow Jesus, and because she made that decision, then so did my brother and I, and then it just started trickling down to now our children, and now our children's children. So, yeah.
Good stuff, Mom. And I'll give you the floor to preach a little more in just a second. 3 of us. I was the firstborn. Charming. Awesome. Athletic. Then came Chan. Fun. Energetic. Exciting. And then Chrissy, clever, smart. All of us, I think, pretty good looking, especially the girls. Do you have a favorite child?
Oh, no, you did not do that.
And before you say me, you don't have to say who it is, but as a parent, I'm curious, when I have my next child, will I have a favorite child? I don't see me loving anyone more than Lay. She was first, I was first. But no, for real, like, as parents, like, do you guys have a favorite child? You have 3 of them, so.
You're starting trouble. And I know for a fact, when you said who's the favorite, I know your 2 sisters leaned in and they're waiting and they want to hear, because we laugh about this all the time. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? And I'll just say what my mom my beautiful mama always says, because my daughters try to say, who's your favorite grandchild? And grandma always says, I don't have any favorites. It's the one who needs me in that moment. That's the favorite.
Nice.
And so I'm just gonna say that. And next question. But I love all my kids. I'm close to all of you. You know, my girls, you. I mean, we're a pretty tight knit family. But on a one-on-one personal level, I have that relationship with all of you. So, I mean, we all laugh. Like, you make me laugh, Isaiah. You seem a little, sometimes you seem, I know you like to laugh, but you and I, we can have some good, serious conversations, whether we're talking about, the Lord or anything, but then we laugh. You and I, we crack up. And same with the girls. Just a lot of laughter and, but a lot of serious moments too.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. Transitioning, and just kind of as we begin to close, you kind of already started preaching a little bit, but just advice, and it doesn't have to be all, godly stuff. Do you just have some general advice for the young kids out there? Just stuff you've learned over the years, and even going back to like when I was in high school, you worked a lot with the youth, and then obviously as a bus driver, working with kids. So just some advice you have, and then that godly advice that you always give us.
Let's see, some advice for kids. I'm getting older now, and any opportunity to be an example to young ladies. Because I have 2 young adult daughters, and, since they were younger, I've always just really poured into them and, let them know that they have purpose. That's something that at a really young age, I talk to my girls about. Like, you have purpose. And one of my favorite scriptures in Psalms 139:14, David is saying, I praise you, Lord, because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's one of the scriptures that I always, with young ladies, I've had groups, we had like a young ladies group with my daughters and some of the other young women. And I love just, especially to those people who think, I don't have a purpose. Why am I here? And, I never had nobody tell me anything good. I've been talked down on my whole life. So we're not accidents. You're not an accident. If you're watching this today and you think like, wow, good for them, but what about me? And you're used to just hearing negative things, and you're used to being talked down to. Another good scripture that I love is in the book of Ephesians in the New Testament, chapter 2, verse 10. Let me read it. It said, for we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago. And like I said, before we were even born, God knew the plan that he has for our lives. Maybe you didn't have a mom that told you that. Maybe your mom told you all the opposite of that. But I'm here to tell you that there's a God that loves you so much. And Jesus he already knows you, but he wants you to know him. And you have an opportunity, growing up, I experienced some stuff before I gave my life to the Lord. Some drinking, partying, that lifestyle up until I was 24. And I think the first time I started drinking, I was 12 years old till I was 24. And when I got pregnant with Isaiah, and I had an opportunity, to give my life to the Lord, and I totally surrendered my life to him, and it changed. And I just think of, if I never would have done that, son, I don't know where I would be right now. I don't know where you would be right now. But, I thank God that at a young age, somebody told me about the love of God. Somebody told me that there's a God that loves me and that I have purpose. And, his plan isn't to harm you, but to prosper you, to give you hope and a future. That's in Jeremiah 29:11. That you have hope. But that hope comes through Jesus Christ. If some people might not even think he's real, challenge him. God, I don't believe that you're even real. Like, show up, show me that you're real. Show me that what these people are saying about you, that it's true. And I guarantee that if you ask God to come into your life, he will show up and he will show you that he is God. Because my life has never been the same. I'm the person I am today, the woman that I am today, the wife that I am today, the mother, only because I have Jesus Christ living inside of my life.
Amen, Mom. And I think for me, sometimes, I mean, I do my homework and I'm all in on this Jesus guy, but I grew up with it. Mm-hmm. I was never transformed. And yeah, I've struggled. Even Christians struggle. And, I had times where I felt disconnected with God. But overall, I mean, I've always stood on that faith. And I have experienced him, but I've had the luxury of just knowing him from the jump, thanks to you and Dad. For you, though, you kind of spoke about it. Like, it wasn't always like that. And so for you to experience that and now, I mean, you tell everyone every chance you get about this God that we serve. So take notes and really understand that what she's saying, it ain't just talk. Like, she experienced that. So I'm grateful for that. Real quick, we're gonna close with just a little game I have that we'll do in a second. And then if you have any final thoughts. Okay. But one thing, I don't know when you started this, I've kind of always remembered it, but the impression you always leave with people is when you're greeting someone, or especially when you're saying goodbyes, you tell everyone, God bless you, have a blessed day. And just being that light and like you said, being unashamed of the gospel, like, that doesn't go unnoticed. And yeah, me, the girls, like, we've learned from that as well. So, yeah. All right. So we'll just kind of, I have a little game we're going to play, and it's called Keeping Up with the Times. This is something I'm still trying to do, but just a little guessing game. So what I want is I'm going to give you either a slang word or just something that a person, and I just want you to try and explain what you might think it is. Some of these you might know, but I think it's funny. I think Grandma might beat you in this game because she's all into it. My mom is
always up on everything. She is.
Yeah. For you, this might be a struggle.
Oh my God.
And some of these are multiple choice too, so just do your best. Some of them I'll give you options.
Okay.
The first term or phrase that I have for you is, and if you just know it outright, say what it is. Okay. But I have some options for this first one. Is no cap. Do you know what that means? This is a term the youngsters say.
Not lying.
Okay. Very good.
And I'm going to say this. I learned that 2 days ago from your sister.
Wow.
Chrissy.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Chrissy's mid-20s. So she's still, yeah. I'm kind of I'm in the shadow now. I've lost touch with some of these myself. Mm-hmm. All right. The next one, the term is bussin'.
Bussin'?
Yep. And I could give you some options if you need.
No, I think I got this. You was bussin' on my yellow bus.
That wasn't funny. Maybe a little bit, but...
Oh my gosh. That was hilarious.
You could have rephrased that a little better. But, no, here's the options. A, related to food, like the food is really good. B, the opposite, the food is really bad. Or C, related to a song, like a song is really good. It's bussin'.
I think it's A, because Chrissy told me that too. Mm-hmm. Or I've heard her. Yeah, I'll go with A.
Hey, that is correct. Okay. The food is really good. It's smacking. Okay. I like to use smacking.
Excuse me.
All right, the next term, and this is actually an acronym. This is level 1. This should be kind of easy. What does GOAT stand for?
Greatest of all time.
All right, just checking.
Because you and Jack, you guys be trying to figure out who's the GOAT.
And to you, who is the GOAT? Just in general. Just shout out a GOAT. Could be any field, any type of...
Jesus.
All right.
The greatest of all time.
All right, nice. Okay, I picked a couple actresses, their names. You may know all of them, you may not know any of them, but I want you to say a couple movies that
I'm not good at this, son, but okay.
All right, just do your best. The first one is Chloe Bailey. The second one, Jenna Ortega. And the third one, Zendaya.
I've heard of Zendaya, but the other two, never heard of them.
Wow.
Why couldn't you say like Julia Roberts? You know,
because they're
women
old.
Right.
Yeah, this generation, the youth.
Okay, well, I have no idea. I'm not much of a movie person.
No Zendaya?
I've heard of her, but I don't know what movie.
Wow. Okay.
What was she in?
Honestly, Jenna Ortega, I've seen her, but on Instagram or whatever, but I don't really know exactly what movie she's been in or who she is. Zendaya, the Spider-Man movies. She's Mary Jane.
Oh, okay.
So you could have said Spider-Man 1, 2,
no,
and 3.
well, I didn't know that.
All right, that's okay. Zendaya, she was in The Greatest Showman. She's in a bunch of stuff. The Dune movies, those are new. Okay. She's from Oakland. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I think so, but I didn't really know.
Chloe Bailey, so she has a sister. I don't know which one's which, honestly, but one of them was the new Little Mermaid, the Black Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know which one, so forgive me. Again, I'm not totally in tune with the times. All right, this word, what does it mean? I could give you options. I think you should know this. Slay.
Give me some options.
Okay. The first one is to win a fight.
No.
Slay them. Second one is that someone stinks.
No.
They slay. And the last one is to do something very well.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding. You are correct. That's, slay. All right. Another acronym for you. COD or COD. Do you know what that stands for? No?
Give me the first
I'm
word.
not surprised. So just going back to... All right, I'll give you the first word. I'll give you the first two words. Call of...
Duty.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
very
Call
good.
of Duty.
Nice. All right. Not too bad. Another thing, when I was young, I never had video games. And she used to always say, like, oh, what would you say? Kids get addicted to those. Like, you don't need to be doing that. And so I always...
You go next door to your cousin's
I would
house.
go next door. I had my cousin next door, so that was nice. And we would just play all night. But I didn't have my own system till when? I might have been 13. Yeah, so that was rough. I forgive you, man.
Okay.
All right. Last couple ones here. What does mid mean?
Mid?
Mid. M-I-D.
Is it an acronym?
No. And I could give you some options.
Okay.
The first one is profitable, like gonna make some money, mid. The second one is subpar, like, it's okay, it's mid. The last one is someone is hurt or injured, they're mid.
We'll go with the second one.
Second one, subpar. Wow, are you looking at my notes?
No, I'm not.
That's
I
good.
Have glasses on, I can't see that.
All right, nice job. I think you got all the multiple choice right at least. So good job. All right, last one here. And then the floor is yours. I don't know if you have any questions for me or whatnot. Okay. I'm sure you have to know one of these guys. But what can you tell me about Kendrick Lamar and Drake? What's going on with them right now?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all? Do you know what they do? Athletes, musicians, actors?
Drake, he's a... I don't know, singer or something like that.
All right.
I don't know.
I thought you would know Drake a little bit better. Yeah, he's a rapper, singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked. But basically, to fill you in, and y'all probably know about this, all my viewers. Right now, they're in a heated rap beef. So they've been trading shots, trading songs back and forth about the other. And so, yeah, I think both of them have dropped like 4 songs dissing each other. And it's some heavy stuff that they're talking about. But yeah, I thought maybe you might have been. I'm sure Grandma knows
I'm sure
what's
she
going
does.
on with them.
Grandma
So
knows.
I'm Team Kendrick. Kendrick is the GOAT, and he won the rap battle most definitely. He has more, and Drake tapped out. So that's all I got, Mom. Great job with the game.
I'm confident that if you would have stuck to your rap career, you'd have been the GOAT. But
maybe.
Anyway.
Final thoughts.
Final
questions.
thoughts. When did you realize, how old were you when you realized that Dad was not Batman?
Wow. So, yeah, she didn't really give context for that one. My dad used to try and convince us he was Batman, and he was so like
convincing.
Yeah, like basically he didn't give it up. So we started thinking like, hey, is dude really Batman? Like he goes to work and works long hours. He leaves like real early, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when the sun's not up. Like maybe it's true. He actually like basically threatened to, and like I was nervous because we told someone from church like, hey, my dad's Batman, and we're like what 5, 6 years old, 7, and he lost. We got home and he like closed the door on us and was like went off. Like, don't you ever tell anyone my secret identity. Like and we were like scared we were gonna get hit for that. And so eventually we caught on. But there was a brief period where I was like, hey, he might be Batman.
Hey, if people believe in Santa Claus, why not, huh? Yeah. Anyways. All right, Isaiah, you love sweets. You're a sweet eater. You and Justina, you love that ice cream, but what is your favorite go-to sweet treat?
Do you know?
Well, Rice Krispie treats you like, but...
Yeah, that's like my favorite treat, I guess. Like packaged, but you know I'm all about cake. Like the baked goods. Mm-hmm. So cake, pastries, cookies. It just depends on my mood. But yeah, for sure cake. I was never really an ice cream guy. Like I think it goes well with cookies. Like you pair them together, a cake. But it was I would never really eat ice cream alone just cause. But Justina, my wife, that's her thing. She's a big ice cream person. So it's kind of grown on me now. I love ice cream, so cookies and cream, but yeah, cookies and cake are my things. Yeah.
Anyway, son, I just want to say how proud I am of you, and I always tell you, and I just believe that you are here for such a time as this. You're reaching, young people and just doing what you do, doing what God's called you to do. And just as a mom, I'm just so grateful, for all of my kids, and just I see, that God's really just doing a work in your life, and it's just been awesome to see. I'm your biggest fan. Mm-hmm. I thought of when I think it was a scrimmage when you were playing your first year of football, I think when you were little, and we were in Milpitas, and it was just a scrimmage game, but you made a touchdown, and I had the video camera, and all you see is when you made the touchdown, I was screaming so loud, and the camera just started going everywhere, and that was it. But just since you were little, and just even now, like I'm your biggest cheerleader, I'm your biggest fan, and I really see that, that God's really using you. Just to represent him well. And so I'm so proud of you, son, and I'm just thankful just to be your mom. Just grateful.
Yeah.
So
thank you. And I know you say it a lot. I don't say it often enough just how proud I am of you and Dad. And just obviously you guys came a long way, but just all these years serving the Lord and just doing for others, and yeah, you guys have passed the torch to me and the girls, and so we're just trying to do our best to, follow what you guys have taught us. So,
all All right.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And that's
Happy
biological
Mother's
moms,
Day.
that's spiritual moms, that's foster moms, aunties, grandmas, whoever
Yes.
the mother figure is in your life. Like, you guys play such a crucial role in bringing up this next generation. So I appreciate it. Mom, I know you do. So, yeah. We'll finish with a prayer. I'm going to let you do the honors.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, we'll get up out of here.
So first, I just want to say to all the moms, Happy Mother's Day, and to all the children and the young adults, and to everybody out there. And again, like I said, you might be without your mom this Mother's Day, you know, and we want to just pray that God would just comfort you and encourage you. And like I said, if you've never heard it before, you know, how much purpose you have, and you're here for a reason. You know, we just want to say that again. And so with that, we'll just bow our heads and in reverence. And Father, we just thank you, my God, for your faithfulness. Thank you for all the moms out there. I pray, God, for the single mom, maybe the struggling mom right now, God. Even maybe the moms that are struggling with addiction or whatever it is, Lord, you know. And I pray that you meet them right where they're at, Lord. For the one that doesn't know you, that you would just show up in a real way. Let them know, God, that you're real and that you love them and that you died for them, Jesus. And I pray for the kids, Lord, for those that are without their parents, that you comfort them. Father, you say that you are near to the brokenhearted. So I pray that you begin to mend hearts in this season in people's lives, God. And Father, just touch them and love on them. And we just thank you. Let all the moms, God, just know how much you care and that you love them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Kids out there, do something nice for your moms.
Yes.
Make sure they feel loved and appreciated. Mom, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, son.
We'll do this again down the road.
Okay.
But yeah. Peace out.